Well, Huawei is the world's biggest telecommunications equipment maker. It also makes smartphones, led by Apple and Samsung. These devices have transformed how we communicate. But the smart revolution is also a cause for concern for consumers. A recent survey revealed that more than 80% of people fear their data is not secure, and about 70% worry their medical records will be compromised. While an overwhelming majority say brands are responsible for their own ethical use of technology. VanderMolen, who commissioned the research, told me how people are responding to new technology.
I think we have to step back, right? I think there's very high expectations from consumers that brands are going to continue to use technology to innovate, to make products and services more accessible. However, the trade-off is we're seeing highly visible data breaches. We're seeing fears of consumers that their mobile devices are listening to them. We're even seeing fears from consumers that they may be run over by an autonomous vehicle. So there's a tug of war happening between humanity, represented by consumers, and technology, where brands can come in and mediate that dispute, help to alleviate the fear and make sure innovation is actually being enterprise and consumer specific.
But consumers are not against innovation, right?
No, consumers are absolutely pro-innovation, but consumers aren't aware of the trade-off. And let's talk about this for a minute. In user agreements, how many consumers are actually reading user agreements and understanding them? Instagram, for instance, has a user agreement that runs 14 pages, single space, and A4. Nobody's reading that, so when a consumer opts into that platform, or indeed a brand platform, they're not aware of both the risk and the reward of the technology and of the platform. So consumers in our study are saying 97% of them across the 8 markets where we do the study are actually saying, hey, we're going to start holding the brands responsible for ethical and responsible innovation. They're not going to hold the platform responsible, and they're not going to hold the technology responsible. So brands now are in the middle of the debate.
All right, we're talking about brands. Some major issues now regarding the Chinese telecommunications operators. Why is there mistrust among Western nations to work with these Chinese telecommunications suppliers?
Well, look, I think that's a political question. I think that's much better to talk to the U.S. government and the Chinese government about, right? I think there's obviously fears about ZTE and Huawei as well that I suspect may be a little bit more politically motivated than they are consumer-driven.
And it was VanderMolen who commissioned the research from We Communications.